G'day guys, in the spirit of exam season we're going to do another exam question for you today where we've got basically an exercise in algebra and inequalities in disguise. So we've got the question says that in the diagram below the perimeter of the equilateral triangle is less than the perimeter of the rectangle. Number 1, write an inequality and solve it to determine the possible values of x and what is the largest possible integer value of x. Okay, so just quickly it says that the perimeter of the equilateral triangle is less than the perimeter of the rectangle, so we know that the integer is going to look like that. So what we're going to do, I'll do it over here just so we can save space. We're looking for the perimeter of the equilateral triangle. Because it's equilateral, it's going to be 3 lots of 2x plus 3. So we have 3 lots of 2x plus 3, and that's going to be less than the perimeter of the rectangle, which is 2 lots of 3x plus 1, because this is being a rectangle, that's going to be the same as that, and this is going to be the same as this. So we're going to have 2 lots of 3x plus 1, plus 2 lots of x. Cool. So now we just have to go about solving the inequality. So we're going to multiply out our brackets. So our next line is going to look like this. We've got 3 times 2, so that's going to be 6x plus 9. It's got to be less than 2 times 3 is 6x plus 1 with times 2, which is 2 plus 2x. Cool. So we can combine our like terms on this side. So we have 6x plus 9 is going to be less than 8x plus 2. I'm going to move our numbers to the left, and I'm going to move my unknown to the right. So I'm going to have 7 on this side. It's going to be less than 8x take 6x is 2x. Or we divide both sides by 2, we have x is going to be greater than 7 over 2. So, write an inequality and solve it to determine the possible values of x. Okay, so we can have x. So x is going to be an element of the real numbers, but x has got to be greater than 7 over 2. Cool. So it's important that we write it in that sort of domain style notations to get full marks. Now, what is the smallest possible integer value of x? Okay, well, what are they looking for there? Well, they're looking for just x is an element, rather than of r, of z, where x is greater than 7 over 2. Z being the set all integer numbers. So 7 over 2 is the equivalent to 3.5. So because 7 over 2 is equivalent to 3.5, and x has to be greater than that, so we can't go down to 3. So the minimum value of x will have to be equal to 4. So because we can't go down to 3 because that would be outside of our domain, but we can go up to 4, and that's our first integer value. Alright, so just going through it, it's not a very complicated question, guys. If I was in an exam, I'd obviously underline the less than section just to ensure that I don't make a silly mistake. It's worth 4 marks, this question, and it's quite easy to extract all 4 marks from the question. So I'd make sure I, give myself as many reminders as possible to make sure that this one is smaller than this one. You go through your algebra steps. Now, because we didn't multiply or divide anything by a negative number in here, we didn't have to flip the inequality, but you always have to, be aware that if we're timesing or dividing by a negative, that means we have to flip the inequality. So that's important to understand. Now, I've done a few videos on inequalities where I do actually flip the inequality. So if you want to check them out, you can search through my videos to have a look for them. But, guys, not a very complicated question. I just thought I would, go through another exam style question for you this morning. And yeah, I hope it helped. If it did, give it a thumbs up. You can always subscribe to my channel. It helps me out. But until next time, guys, enjoy your maths.